So today has taken a little bit of a turn. Well, congratulations. How do you feel?
10 toes down in my B22s. Young ST hit the T and he blew. Pat came in, disappeared like the moose. Yeah, I'm out the mud, yeah, I'm really the truth. 10 toes down in his Christians, yours. They know me by my real name in the store. Pins and fiends made a killing off a roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Week in the Life series. This morning is very sunny. The time is 8:46 and I am in the office. Monday is my favourite day of the week and Monday morning is my favourite part of Monday. I like to check my calendar and get myself set up for the week and see where I am going to invest my time. There's one very, very important thing that we do on every single day. Between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m, we will always check in with candidates who are interviewing that day. Yes, that might be a little bit early. Some people have school runs. Some people might not be up that early. Yes, we've had that before. For us, it's really important to speak to people as early as possible to make sure they don't have any final questions and make sure they are all set. Because we will then send an email to the clients to say, we have spoken to X person, they are all confirmed. Here's a few points about what they want to find out during the interview. Please can you cover these? As you might have guessed, sometimes people don't answer this early. So if they don't answer, we will always send an email. We will also send a WhatsApp as well to let them know that we have called and that we would like to hear back to them to confirm that they are all set for their interview today. We think it's really, really important for all parties to be kept up to date as much as possible. So even if it comes down to the day of the interview, people still need to know if each party is attending. Outside of my really important tasks on a Monday, I will have a high level overview look at the week and I can see that we have a number of meetings. I'm going for lunch at 1 p.m. today, 11 a.m. meeting tomorrow. We have a quite an interesting lunch on Wednesday with 2 startups, a lawyer and a bank. In between that, we have a number of vacancies that we are working on. So I feel I have to mention early on, if you are looking at a new opportunity, please check out our latest vacancies here. You might have noticed that we've upgraded from Linktree to Comey. So it's looking a bit more aesthetic, but any applications will come straight through to me and I will call you. And so we're all on the same page. This Week in the Life is going to be very educational. So there's going to be bits of recruitment knowledge dropped throughout. I might teach you how to do certain things. I might show you how I do certain things. And I might give you a different perspective on how to do things differently. So make sure you stick around to the end. There's going to be another great episode. Good morning. How are you? Or how are you feeling for today, more importantly, your final stage interview? Essentially, it's just going to be you integrating with the team. You're going to be surrounded by the other people in the business as well to see what the culture's like, the environment, how they help people. And then more importantly, from a tech perspective, you're going to be getting in the code base. It's just as much for you to find out about the environment as they're going to find out about you. The feedback from the first stage was very, very good. You know, they didn't have any hesitations at all. There wasn't actually any negatives, genuinely. And sometimes there is, and we will always be honest about that so we can work on them. But, you know, with it just being a one-stage interview, sometimes that's not enough time to get to know someone. So, yeah, literally go in, work for a couple of hours as if you were working and it was your first day, and then they'll find out if it's going to be for you. You know, just based on the feedback, I'm pretty confident they really, really like you. So as long as you go there, you know, ask some questions, show good enthusiasm as well, I think you'll be in a good place. I'll give you a call after 5 p.m. so we can share some feedback and see how it went. Hopefully, if it went well, I'll then put an email across to let them know that it went well and we can try and prompt a good result. Sounds good. Just drop me a message and I wish you the best of luck in the meantime. See ya. Bye-bye. That's one call done. That person is all set for their final stage interview today. They are going down to site to spend 3 or 4 hours actually in the code base with the team. I've hit a double voicemail on the other 2, so straight to WhatsApp to let them know I've called, to check how they're feeling for today's interview and to see if I can help out with any last minute questions before they go in. I have been busy this morning speaking to lots of candidates for the open vacancies that we have. The main one that I am looking to fill and make a shortlist for at the minute is the one that we had a rejected offer for last week. So for the past 5 days, I've been going back out to market, building a pipeline, organising first stage interviews. And the good news is today I have sent 3 profiles and 1 on Friday. So we've booked 4 people in a space of 5 days of getting a rejected offer, which is a pretty good turnaround. Whilst I've been grinding away on this side, I also know Skylar's been working over there because she's updated me that we've had 2 more NPS scores come back. Let me just work out this camera. Skylar, we've had 3 now, so tell us, what is our overall NPS score?
100.
100 out of 100. Thank you, Skylar. Give us an idea of what the feedback says. Give me like the top 2 or 3 things, because I think you've had some similar feedback on all of them.
So the best piece of feedback we've had is that we need another Kieran. And then also the communication has been great. Having the communication come through WhatsApp, making it really easy and not so formal, softens the blow of people changing jobs.
And everyone appreciated that we, or me in particular, was communicating on holiday. So now might be a good time to plug our new Calendly link. So if you are looking to speak to me from 2 different perspectives, if you're a candidate looking for a new opportunity, you're welcome to book through the link here. There's 2 different slots if you're based in the US or the UK. If you are a potential client or hiring manager and you're looking to recruit into your team, you can also use this link here. There is 2 or 3 different options actually: pre-investment, post-investment, and individual complex hires.
I don't trust anybody, don't even trust myself. I was out here, I would even rob myself if I could. That much I need drunk as hell. Try it, but we still out here in that hood. Bust it down, I might as well. Use it and
I'm back in the office this afternoon after a very nice lunch at Ground Bakery with, what would I call him, a friend now, someone that I've met 3 or 4 times. He is a non-exec director, an investor, a retired CFO, a great person who helps me out quite a bit with advice and direction, and it's always nice to go out for some food. I've got 2 very important calls left for this afternoon. One is going to be right now. This person went down for a final stage interview today on site for a few hours, and we're going to do our trial close. If you've watched any episodes up until now, you will know that we love a trial close where we can find out if the candidate is likely to accept the offer based on the numbers that we give them. After that, that will likely be the end of my day in the office. I have one more scheduled call, which is at 7 p.m. That is also going to be a trial close. We've actually delivered an offer to that person. However, respectfully, they wanted another chat with the founder to talk about 2 things: the share option scheme and career progression. I'm probably gonna get that one on camera as well. 2 trial closes today. That might mean 2 offers this week. Hello, it's Kieran. I'm very good, mate. How are you? Oh, nice. So they've already told you that they're going to offer you. Nice. Okay, cool. That's really, really good news. You know, you don't always get the verbal offer or them saying they're going to make an offer. So I guess you've done really well. But let's just run a couple of trial scenarios by you, because we will likely have the offer or a decision tomorrow. So if we think ahead optimistically, you know, and they wanted to make you the offer, which by the sounds of it they do, and it was at what we spoke about. So we shared your profile at 33,000. If they come in at that number, it sounds like it's going to be a definite accept. Is that right? Cool. Yeah, no hesitations at all. No, I didn't think so. It's a pretty good fit, right? You know, this one for you. Just so you know, we haven't had any offers come in any lower than what we initially share people at, but I've just got to run a few examples. Like if it was any less, like let's just say 32, 31, where's your head at then? Okay, that sounds good. I think that's very, very fair for what we're looking for. So part of my job now is to email across to let them know that you enjoyed it, you're interested, and essentially give them the number that you're happy with. That normally prompts an offer letter, and it's almost always at the number that we want. But that's going to be tomorrow now, because it's a bit late in the day. So when I hear back, I'll give you a call and we can talk about how that looks and if it's going to be the number we want. Oh, for sure. Yeah. That was sent in the very, very first email. Yeah. So I've learned from all my time, it's better to be as honest as possible throughout the process. So yeah, we share it in writing at the beginning. We reinforce that at the end. We pretty much reinforce it throughout the whole process. So it's not going to be a surprise. All right, wicked. I will speak to you tomorrow. Thank you. That was a very interesting call. They have actually verbally offered him the position. They spoke about getting an offer across. They haven't spoken about numbers. And the last words that the developer said was, looking forward to seeing you in the office soon. Doesn't get much better than that, although I have seen it all in this game. Whilst I was on the call, I had an email through saying some good feedback, and it ended, I am pleased to say that we would like to make this person an offer. So that's going to be coming tomorrow. I've trial closed and we shared him at certain salary expectations, and he's still at those expectations. So I'm pretty confident this is going to be an easy accept. And I suppose we're going to have to see how the next one goes, because it's for the same company. We could have a double accept in the same week. Hello, it's Kieran O'Connor. Oh, you've just seen it come through, yeah? Well, congratulations. How do you feel? Yeah, good. So they sent me the offer and it was at the 33,000, which we were expecting. So I went ahead and accepted it for you to get the DocuSign. So you're very happy with the salary that they've given? Good. And then there's a bonus on top with the share option scheme. That's a very, very good package for someone at your level. Are you going to celebrate in any way? Are you going to buy anything nice? Good, good. Well, well done. You've done very, very well. Just quickly in terms of next steps, I'm going to set you up with a call with our customer success director. You're going to spend 10 minutes with her just to go through the process, make sure it was all good, and if there's anything we can work on, you can be honest with her. I'll get her to email you and you can set it up and that'll be all good. Well done again, really pleased. See you, man. Bye. That's the first offer accepted. Good afternoon, I'm very good, and you? Share options, their exit plan, the career progression and all that sort of stuff. And that's the beautiful thing about a startup that's scaling, right? You almost have to get involved in different areas of the business. And you know, if you were someone that wanted to just do the AI, for example, that probably wouldn't be the best position for you. So the fact that you said that, you know, and they've confirmed that, that's really good news. Yeah, okay, well done then. Congratulations, I guess. You should be really, really pleased. I know I said to you at the beginning, there was genuinely quite a bit of competition for this one. You know, 4 people, they narrowed it down to you. And the other people on paper, you know, had more experience in terms of number of years. So I guess really well done. You know, you must have done really well throughout the process to get this far. Yeah, cool. So just to let you know, I'll let you know that you verbally accepted, because that will then prompt the e-sign. That's going to take a day to get that through, and then you can sign that once you've told your current company tomorrow. So you'll have that via email, and then after that, then it prompts the contract as well. So it takes a couple of days to do all this stuff. And the final thing from me, I will set you up with our customer success director. She's called Skylar. It's her responsibility to chat with you for 10-15 minutes online to make sure you've had a very good process, find out what's gone well, and if there's any areas that we could have improved as well. And that's really helpful to us as a business. Well done again. I really appreciate your time, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.
I've just got a few questions, if that's okay with you. The goal of the call is just to make sure that your experience with us and with Kieran in particular has been a positive one. And then if there's any feedback, good or bad, you can be as open and honest with me, and I can go back to the team and make sure that we can improve in every aspect. So just before I ask you the first question, I've just got some data. So our time to hire was 19 working days. We shared 3 candidates that all went to the first stage, and all 3 went to the second stage, so that's 100% rate. How do you feel about that time to hire? Happy with that, yeah? How happy are you with the selection of candidates we provided for the role? It's a completely different aspect because I'm from corporate and I've worked in a startup as well. So it's a completely different ball game, which you don't really understand until you've done it, I guess. Second question is, how did you find our communication throughout the process? So this can be the frequency of updates you received, the preferred style. So I know Kieran speaks a lot on WhatsApp or email. So how did you find the communication throughout the process? Overall then, how was your experience just working with Kieran? That's good to hear. Amazing. Are there any ways that we can improve moving forwards? Be as honest as you like, as constructive as you like. That's fine if it's anything. And then obviously, did that cause any sort of delay or anything? It's something that we can look into though. For example, if that's something that would help our clients process, then and we can implement that, then we will, just to improve that. So it's good to know even the tiniest little things, you know. No, it is. That's actually a really good point. And like if it is something that we can do, we will definitely do it. So that's great. And that's the whole point of these calls, like just to get even just the nuances like that we can resolve. It helps everyone. Perfect. Okay, so thank you for that feedback anyway. And then question 5 is, do you have any upcoming hiring needs that we can support you with? Yeah, he did say, you mentioned that you've gotten in contact before about customer success. I don't know if Kieran's mentioned it to you, but we've got our referral system coming in. So even for our clients, I'm actually managing that process of implementing the platform. So as soon as that comes out, I will get it sent over to you, or Kieran can send it. There's like a 10% that you'll save on the fees and stuff. So this sort of comes up in question 5, but do you have anyone that you can recommend us to? Okay, no, that's great. Just get in contact if you do have anyone, and obviously when our platform's up, then it'll be a lot more streamlined. Thank you so much for the feedback. Really happy to hear that you had a positive experience with us. Are you happy for me to pop over an NPS review system for you? Okay, amazing. I'll send everything over in a link in our email. But yeah, thank you so much for that. I'll speak to you soon. Have a great day. That was my first client success call. It went really, really well. Got some good feedback and also some areas to improve, which I'll be looking at today to implement. And if you're looking for a partner that has a customer success built in, make sure to book in a call with us.
Skylar has had her first client success call today. She spoke to a hiring manager for a VC-backed startup that we are working with. We are very fortunate to work with 4 different hiring managers within the business, and we recruited 2 people for their specific area. Skylar, you've had 7 calls so far, 6 have been candidates, 1 has been on the client side. What's our NPS score? 100. We're still on 100%. We're going to try and keep that up as much as possible. We're also going to send that to people who are unsuccessful in a process, at least after the first stage interview, so we can always keep the candidate experience as high as we can. This is the first week that we've implemented the NPS system, so of course we're going to be speaking about it quite a lot to show you the scores that we're getting throughout the week. And we have some more interesting news in that we are officially now going to pay everyone for referrals. We've had this in place for some time, but it's been ad hoc in terms of there's been no system or process, but now it's official thanks to Skylar. So as you will see here, this is available for candidates and clients. What does that mean? So if you're watching this video, even if we've never had an interaction, you can refer someone to me, and if they get a position through me and they pass probation, which is usually 2 to 3 months, I will pay you £500 cash as a bank transfer. There's 2 reasons you would want to do this. The first is the obvious one, and there's £500 cash on the line. The second is to make yourself look good to friends or colleagues, because I will do my very, very best to make sure that person is well looked after and ultimately finds the next opportunity for them. If you are a client, and I know there are a couple of my clients that actually watch these, or you know someone that is hiring, if you refer me into them and you work with us currently, you will have 10% off your next hire, which is uncapped, by the way. So the more people you introduce me to, the more 10% you can get off. Or you know someone that's hiring and you're not a hiring manager yourself, I will also pay you £500 cash. So there's the links. You will also find that on my LinkedIn. We're going to be putting it on the YouTube description as well. So what are you waiting for? Get sharing, and I'll make contact with these people immediately. And I'm looking forward, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm looking forward to paying out £500 cash lump sums. So today has taken a little bit of a turn. We are actually in Future Ventura, is that how you pronounce it? Future Ventura Airport. We booked this last night at about 6:45. We needed a last minute working holiday. Of course, I'm going to be working on the laptop, staying productive, while Skylar in customer success has one important call with one of our clients. I'm going to be getting all my content. It's good news and bad news. The good news is it's going to be an exciting week for content, the same as Dubai. Bad news is there's no expected offers, so I won't be closing deals abroad again. But for now, we're going to jump in a taxi and go check out this little apartment villa. Yeah, go check it out.
When I make a meal, 95 when an option. In the field, they kinda run out of options. She always complain like she nods in me often, but often I'll be OT tiring. Girl, don't worry, I'll be out in the morning.
And we have arrived at our villa in Future Ventura. We booked this last minute, literally 6:45 p.m. last night. As I mentioned, the flight was at 7 a.m. this morning, but we're here. There's a number of reasons why we've booked this last minute working holiday. But whilst I talk you through that, why don't you check out the apartment with me? We had a few key criteria that we needed. It needed good Wi-Fi. It needed somewhere to work, so a big open space inside and out. And a pool, of course, because it's about 32, 34 degrees over here. So this place ticks all the boxes. We've got it just to ourselves. So why did we book this last minute working holiday? Well, truthfully, there's been lots of changes within the business recently. We had to sadly exit 2 of the people that I had working with me, as you would have seen, because I'm very transparent about that sort of stuff. And we've changed the business model. So we are focused on customer success and really looking after our current clients, whilst I focus on client acquisition. That has freed us up some time. I don't have to be in the office training anyone. So me and Skylar have come abroad, and we're going to be doing our calls here in the sun. There's lots of changes going on behind the scenes as well, which I'm going to be talking about over the coming weeks. I'm pretty excited about announcing some of these things. So this was a good time to get away and really identify what those changes are going to look like and how I can announce them as well. We've also come away to get into our creative space as well. The YouTube journey is going pretty well. We're close to 4K subs, probably 4K subs when this video comes out. And I'm going to be starting a new YouTube as well, which is going to be focused on purely education for both clients and candidates. This channel is about the Week in the Life series and the podcast, which is great for brand awareness and also a sneak peek into what we do and how we do it. But the next channel is going to be talking about like key topics which most people don't have a clue about, apart from recruiters. And I don't think there's many people talking about them clearly and giving other people an insight into like why we do what we do and how we could do it better. So keep an eye out, because that new channel is coming in the next couple of weeks. And despite laying on a lounger in front of the pool, I'm still going to be doing some of the most important tasks in the business. So this afternoon, we're going to be doing BD call coaching. I am enjoying BD at the minute and reviewing my calls. We've got 5 other interviews this week, so of course I'll be doing my interview check-ins to making sure the candidates are all good and don't have any final questions. As you would have seen from earlier in the week, we had 2 offers sent out, so I've got to finalise those, make sure there's no counter offers and work out the final start dates. And I had a call from one of our favourite clients today whilst I was in the airport, and we've booked a lunch at Gaucho next Wednesday to talk about future resourcing. We've already hired 8-9 people with this company. My favourite company at the minute because of the speed and the amount of hires, obviously. So hopefully this meeting next week, which was booked today, is going to be productive. It's that time of the week. I have been very consistent with BD call coaching since I started this week in the life, and we will always do this on a Wednesday afternoon. Even though I am poolside right now, I still want to listen back to my calls to see what went well and what didn't go so well, to ultimately make sure that I'm getting better and staying consistent with the sales and cold outreach. I was quite surprised and pleased actually that I had 2 people message me from last week's episode to say that they actually preferred the new BD call coaching with just me, where I'll listen to one of my own calls and I will dissect the call as I go along. So I will often stop at the opener, any objections, to say what I've done well, and of course to say what I haven't done well and what I could have done differently. The 2 calls that I'm bringing in this week are very long. One was 8 minutes, which we booked a meeting for. The second was 10.5 minutes. So I can't show all of that call, but I will show as much as I can. I think the most important part is the opener, probably some objections and how I handle those, and then the close if there was one as well.
Hello, it's Kieran O'Connor. We've not spoken before, but you had a very good conversation with my colleague Bailey 12 days ago.
Yeah, did I?
A bit more context, you shared some challenges that you're having around an AI engineer position, and you said to Bailey to keep in contact and give you a call in a couple of weeks' time to see if you might need to look elsewhere.
Okay, 32 seconds in. 2 things there. Number 1, you'll probably notice that I am following up on all of Kyle and Bailey's leads, if you like, someone that they've called once or twice to see if there might be anything that I can do to move things forward. I've got loads of my own leads and quite a big pipeline myself, but you know, with Bailey and Kyle being gone, I still want to make sure that the people they were speaking to are in a position to work with us if they are looking to hire. I've done my classic where I will say that you spoke to someone. It might even be that they spoke to me. So you can use this to say you spoke to me on the 12th of May, you spoke to my colleague on the 12th of June, and I won't say what the call was about. The reason is, I said this in last week's episode, if you say recruitment, we're not interested. However, if you say we had a really good conversation on the 12th of June, that person starts thinking, you might hear a few groans, mumbles, and they will always say, can you give me some more context? Great. I get to go in and relay the exact information of what we spoke about.
Yeah, so remind me of the company name, sorry.
So I'm the founder, actually. The company's called Place, a second-year startup based in South Wales. A mutual contact, I think, knows you as well. Do you know?
Yeah, I know.
He was on the podcast, so he spoke highly of you in the business. Yeah.
Nice, good, yeah. We've been trying to do some work together. We've not quite got there, but I'm sure we will.
Is that on his new platform?
Not on it per se. We've got our own platform.
Okay, I think Joe's going to have to cut some of that out, so you might not have heard it all because there's a few name drops in there, but he asked me a question, as everyone will. What's the company? Who are you? What do you do? I will always try, sometimes I feel guilty of this, to do my best to answer the question, but they'd always finish on a question. So I told him who I was, what the business is. Oh, I think we've got a mutual contact. Great. If you've got a mutual contact with someone, even no matter how strong it is, as long as it's genuine, drop that in. Great way to diffuse the conversation. And, you know, that lasted 40 seconds. And we still have another 6 minutes to go. So this person opened up because of the mutual contact.
We've already got like 3 agencies looking for AI engineers for me right now. I think once each of them has completed their search, because I've paid a retainer, I'll then look to assess, right, who's next, who can do a better job for me.
Fair points. 2 quick questions on that. You paid a retainer. That was all 3 or just the one? You've got 2 backups alongside?
No, I've paid a retainer for each of them.
That's interesting. Okay, fine.
Interesting because of...
Typically, whenever we've worked retained, we would only be the only agency being paid up front. We'd never work in competition with another agency where they've been paid up front as well.
All 3 are aware of it, but they want the job, they want the business. So they're like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. They're not competing for the same role. It's multiple roles.
Okay, so quite a good time to stop because there's something I did there which I try and do as much as I can and actively listen. I call them windows and doors. I probably need to do like a whole different session on this. I keep saying this. A window essentially is a small passage you can go through where they give you a bit of information and you use that to your advantage. A door is when they say something huge. Let's imagine that someone said, oh, we're relocating the business to South Africa. Okay, well, that's huge. If someone said a door might be, oh, we have 2 vacancies and we're doing okay. That's a small bit of information that you can move forward with. For me, on that part there, I clearly heard him say that he's paid 3 different agencies on a retainer. What does that mean? Typically, only one agency would get the retainer because 2 agencies might have to give the money back. How does that look? He goes on to say that there's multiple positions and he's paid 3 agencies up front and they all have a shot at a different position. But the attention to detail in listening is where the conversation starts happening. Rather than it be a game of ping pong, back, forth, question, answer, I'm meticulously listening to what this person is saying to try and pick up on some information, and I can have deeper conversations.
So if they tell me the market's big enough and they sell a journey to me, then that's for them to work out how they go to market.
You just want the AI engineers. I get it.
I just want the best AI engineer that money can buy, that I can afford, yeah.
My curious question, just to ask it on that, you said that you are giving them time to finish the search. How long have they been searching so far?
One's been on for a month or so. Yeah, the longest has been on for about 3 or 4 months.
That's a potential red flag. Sometimes when startups are hiring, they are looking for 10 engineers, scientists, salespeople, whatever it might be. They want the best of the best. And that means that they could interview 10, 15, 20 candidates and they are finding reasons not to hire rather than hire. For me, when I first hear that, for an agency to have a position for 2 to 3 months, an AI engineer with a funded startup, I'm thinking 2 things. Either the agency are not doing a very good job, but they've got 3 agencies. It's very unlikely that 3 agencies in London aren't able to find an AI engineer. So immediately listening back to the call and on the call, hence why, throughout the whole call, I didn't say, oh, we can definitely help. This isn't something we can do straight away. I'm starting to think that maybe the client is too picky. And we've had that before where we can invest time and even when we're paid up front, and it's a very difficult hire. I'm going to skip forward to the end now where I kind of pitched, I think. I also handled an objection, and the bit I want to get across here is the scenario-based question, which always goes down well. If anyone's in recruitment or any sort of sales, a little short story at the end normally gets a close after a good call. I'm going to skip to that right now.
Just last question from me then. Hypothetically, if I was to say that I've been building out a team of 8-9 people for a VC-backed startup who are doing AI agents for the accounting industry, I will be up front, the roles are not as senior as yours. Would you be open to a chat so I could share the success story and the reviews on what I've done in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, like maybe in September.
And that's all you're getting from that call. We went on to book a meeting for September the 19th. It's quite far away. I did try and push for a little bit sooner. There's another minute and a half there. But ultimately, he's giving the agencies that last little bit of time, although they've already had 2 to 3 months, to find these AI engineers. And that little short snippet, it's only doable if it's hyper relevant. So we have genuinely been building out a team for a company that are working in an identical space but a different industry. And I have a success story, I have a review, I have 8 or 9 reviews from the candidates and 1 from the client. And if you think from a client's perspective, if someone says that to you and it's genuine and it's truthful, there is no reason not to book a meeting. There's really, really not. So the hyper-targeted sales outreach is very, very beneficial rather than the spray and pray, because you can have success stories like that and you know that they're going to land. Overall review, I think tone was pretty good. I speak fast. I speak very, very fast. I've been told that a lot this week. Haven't I, Scarlett? Yeah. Very fast. I don't think there was too many negatives, and I don't want to come on to all my call coach and say there's not too many negatives. I think I could have slowed down a little. And I didn't push hard enough on the compensation. So I don't know if this is a very unrealistic salary that they're looking for. Maybe that's the problem, an AI engineer in London on 60k. I needed more information on the salary, and potentially I could have pushed a little harder on the candidates that they have interviewed and they thought went well. Why didn't they hire those? Because he did mention that throughout the call. So a few points for me to be aware of. Overall meeting booked, first time speaking to someone. Bish bash. Bosh. Okay, time for the second call. I need to quick pause. I think there was quite a lot of confidential information in this one, so I'm sure Joe will cut some of that out. Hopefully you can hear as much as I want you to, so you can hear the main points that I would like to share some feedback on.
We had a very good conversation back on the 29th of May.
It's about recruitment, isn't it?
Oh, yes, you've guessed. Yeah, I had to remind you last time.
I'm still on hold at the moment.
This person remembered. This person said it's about recruitment, isn't it? That tone didn't sound too good. Potentially I've caught them at a bad time. Or as we find later on in the call, it's quite a tough time for the business at the minute, and he doesn't have any extra budget to make hires, although he would like to. So as soon as you remembered it was recruitment, I would imagine that he thought, oh, now I've got to have an open conversation about how I can't hire, even though I told this guy to call me back in August. But I think it's a good sign that he remembered just by my name that it was about recruitment. At least that's what I think anyway.
The market's just flat at the moment, so we've got no excess capital for new recruits. Not sure if you're seeing that more across the board, actually. That'd be an interesting question.
Pretty common, sadly. Yeah, this is a conversation I'll have 5, 6, 7 times a day at a minute.
Yeah, it's just a tough environment at the moment. We've got the seasonality built into our revenue models, and since we've been trading back in 2020, we've always seen 30 to 40% uptick between the months of April and October. This year it's not come.
Why do you think that is?
Horses are a discretionary spend, similar to the housing market. Housing market's frozen, high interest rates, cost of living, uncertainty. You know, why borrow now when you think in 3 to 4 months' time you'll get it cheaper?
I think this is a temporary thing, because of the outside things, economy or whatever not. Do you think this will change towards the end of the year or beginning of next year for your industry?
This is why it's so helpful to listen back to your own calls. Jordan Belfort has a technique in sales which is called a straight line technique. I always want to be moving in a straight line to ultimately get to a decision, which is usually a meeting or something booked for the next steps. I can't always get there though, but that's the goal. Now, if the conversation sways off, I want to be the person that brings it back to the line and continue going forward. In a call like this, where you can tell by the tone of voice, you can tell by how he's opened up straight away. Number one, that he trusts me. He's also asked me a question on what the market's like. He's maybe looking for a bit of advice on what other startups are seeing to make sure that he is not going crazy and that he could potentially be on the right path. As someone who genuinely cares and has what I like to think as good awareness, he's looking for someone to vent. So I'm going to let him vent, and I'm going to dig a bit deeper to hopefully help him. So when he's telling me that they haven't had the uptick in sales throughout summer, well, why is that? Tell me the reason. I asked him, does he think that this will change anytime soon? Or does he think that this is just, a small blip, and the new year they've got big aggressive growth plans? And I think that's, listening back, that's definitely something that I picked up on here, that you have to be or the best people that I know in sales, who I consistently try to emulate, or I guess take things from to put into my own sales approach, is you have to go with the flow. Yes, you can follow a straight line and you want to, move forward to a sale or move forward to a meeting. But, if the call isn't going that way, this call was 10 minutes and 49 seconds. And we'll listen to one more minute and I'll skip towards the end and you can hear what he says at the end. And I think that's a sign of a good call.
I feel like we are relatively tethered to the performance of the economy. From a kind of a business perspective, we've stripped out so much cost. Can't be good for you either then, right?
This is really tough this year. Yeah. I'm very fortunate that I'm partnered with one VC firm. I'm not sure if I mentioned them to you before. If you ever did need investment, I can make an introduction. But yeah, all of our clients who are heavily recruited are post-investment through them.
A couple of things to mention there. So I matched him, or mirrored him is a better term, and he asked, again, what's it like for me? It can't be easy for me as an agency. Rather than say, oh no, we're smashing it, we're doing really, really well. We're not. We are moving in the right direction, and we have some great relationships with candidates and clients, and we're very grateful for that. I mirrored him and said, this has been a pretty tough year. Yeah, we've worked hard for a couple of relationships with VCs, as I mentioned, and we are extremely fortunate to have those introductions to post-investment startups. But I've mirrored him to build that relationship. Something else I've noticed, the 80-20 rule. You, as a salesperson, want to be speaking 20% of the time. They want to be speaking 80% of the time. He's definitely speaking 80% of the time right here. And the thing I mentioned earlier, he's asking me questions. He's asked me 2 already within 5 minutes. And although that might seem small, but on a sales call, for someone you've never met in person yet, if you ask them 2-3 questions about what they're seeing, what other startups are doing, there's an element of trust. You either think highly of this person, you think they're capable at their job, or you trust them. You trust them enough to hear their opinion.
But yeah, please do keep calling me. I know the answer's not what you want to hear.
It's all right. It's a common conversation. I'm immune to no's anymore. I've had so many no's throughout my life that it don't mean anything. So I will certainly call you back.
And that's the end of the call. How many calls do you have where you speak to a CEO and co-founder of a business and they say, please call me back? Who the hell says that? no one is saying, please call me back. That's not to say I've done anything fantastic here. There's one secret. There's one absolute superpower in sales, and that's actively listening. I've spent 10 minutes, 50 seconds on the phone to that person and just heard him out. The call hasn't gone in the direction I wanted to, and I realised that 2 to 3 minutes in, I wasn't going to get a sale, nor was I going to get a meeting. There was absolutely no point. They're not going to be hiring this year. But I built a stronger connection, and he's asked me to call him back. He really has. A bit of humour at the end as well, and it's true, I've had more no's than I would ever want in my life, and I'm almost immune now. I actually enjoy the no's, but it's good to understand more about people, their businesses, and provide a solution along the journey when it's right. And that's it. That is the end of the BD call coaching session. That feels like a monster session, but I felt like I went into a lot of detail there. Hopefully that's helpful to anyone out there who's watching in recruitment or sales. I certainly don't claim to be anything spectacular, but I do care, and I have refined my skills over nearly a decade of working in sales. I'm going to put something out there as well, something I think I'm good at, and this is through genuine daily practice and awareness, which has been very hard, is active listening. Trying to build relationships based on what they are saying, not what you want to say. If anyone actually wants a chat about that or would like some more information in the video, and I'll happily do like a potential one-on-one sort of thing, drop a comment below, just say Kieran, active listening, anything you want, and I will personally follow up with you to see if we can help out. I might even be able to learn a thing or two off you as well. So yeah, that's just a little freebie there. I have 2 more calls for the day. One is in 10 minutes at 5:30 and one is at 5:45. These are calls for a new vacancy that we onboarded this week. If I've got time, I'm going to jump in the pool right now, but time is moving very fast today, so it might be after.
G-Wagon, I drove the Benz to Paris. New season savage, I make your ex embarrassed. I got expensive habits. You know my thing lavish. I got expensive habits. Man can't tell me about being depressed, in love with a chick.
We have been for our morning ride this morning. We had to get some bread and a double coffee because I've woken up feeling extremely tired today. Long day yesterday, but no excuses. I am setting myself up for the day because there's no sun, sadly, yet, although it does look like it's coming out. So what am I going to be doing today? I have 3 meetings booked in. Thank you very much. And some very good, look at the size of that croissant, by the way. 3 meetings today. 2 are online. One is at 2 p.m. This is for potentially a new tool that we might be implementing in the business. 3:30 is quite an interesting one. A good friend of mine owns a consultancy, and we might be looking at some extra training for Skylar. I did have plans to do a sales power hour live today as well, but I woke up feeling like Prince Philip, if anyone's seen that picture of him in the car. So the double coffee has perked me up, but I'll see how I feel about that. If not, I'm definitely going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to upload the whole content as well, the whole hour, just to show some raw sales. The good news is we've finalised both offers from this week, and we've got the start dates all confirmed. Outside of the core tasks that we all do in recruitment on a daily basis, the really small things like replying to emails, making sure contracts are sorted, making sure start dates are all good. Most of the day, outside of the meetings, of course, will be on content strategy. Obviously, a little bit of sales here and there as well. I'm in the mood for sales this week. So we are going to be focusing on content strategy for the Place channel. What do the next 12 to 16 weeks look like, so that we can start converting more sales from this. We seem to be getting quite good traction and feedback. Candidate flow is very good. We're getting lots of people message us saying, we'd like to work with you. Do we have any opportunities? You would have seen a couple of weeks ago. We've actually got some interviews from messages that weren't on our radar before. But how can we convert that to sales from the client base? So that's going to be the big focus, as well as the personal channel, which is all going to be around the education. That new channel is going to be up very soon, and I'm going to record my first video today or tomorrow to go one level deeper on the recruitment industry. The week in the life is literally what I do on a weekly basis and how I handle my days. But that is going to be just unedited videos directly about some findings from my last however many years in recruitment. Oh, good. Can you hear me? When you send out spec CVs, it's essentially your brand on the line, and it's very, very tough to find people who have been at companies for a good length of time and are going to be brand positive rather than brand negative. And I just love the phone. Like, I genuinely make sales calls every day. I just love the phone, and I think that's a dying skill at the minute. Posted a video today actually on LinkedIn, and I called a CEO of a VC-backed startup in London. Obviously, we're in Cardiff. 9-minute call and booked a meeting on the first call. I just love that stuff. I find it's quicker. I'm very fast-paced anyway, and I get quicker value from it. Not to deny that I should be speccing more. So your message was coincidental timing, and obviously there was a success story off the back of me just sending out one candidate. So it's got me thinking a little bit, really. It's one of those things where you don't want to, like, what I'm doing is working, so why change it? But then there's no denying that spec-in is a huge value add. It really is. So, like, just an example, you introduced me to Ventre. Yeah, thanks for that, by the way. And he talked to me about the leads and then talked to me about the spec-in. And I wasn't really interested in the spec-in, but I've said I'll go for the 3-month trial based on 500 leads per month. That's the most important thing to me. I've just partnered with ShipShape at the minute, ShipShape VC. They're a free search engine for startups to find investors. And he provides me with 30 qualified leads of startups that are looking to raise money every month. And I just get to call them. I just get to call through. And that's what I really enjoy doing. You can upload a CV, and then through the use of AI or some sort of automation behind the scenes, it will tell you the companies which are good to send to. I was like, okay, cool, that's half the work done, for you. So I guess that was kind of cool. I'm looking at how I can automate some of that now. Not lose the personal touch, but I send out so many emails, like a prep email before, during, after, feedback, and yeah, it's a lot per candidate. That's kind of more relevant, actually, because I do emails and have done since I started recruitment. Very detailed emails, hyperlinks to websites, YouTube channels, reviews. I think that does actually look a little bit better. The only problem with that is I'm, number one, limited on software that I can implement at the minute because I'm with a wonderful CRM, but they don't have any integrations, and I cannot stand admin. So for me, I've given up an API key, I've given up integrations, I've given up a lot of things actually, just to remove admin. And from an admin perspective, it's wonderful. I feel like I'm a bit outdated on some of this stuff, yeah. I'll be honest, it is probably actually valuable. Like, it is actually a value add, especially the candidate stuff, because I'm doing that manually and it doesn't look as aesthetic. Then I guess it all comes down to value add versus price, doesn't it? So I can't remember the prices. You can tell me now if you like, you can send them over. It's more interesting than I thought it was going to be, I'll be honest, because of the candidate side of things. So I'm on holiday right now, so I can't make a massive decision right now. But I will genuinely make a decision on this. If I just want leads, just want some good quality leads, like 3 months makes sense, and it could probably be the same here. I'm always open to trying new things as well. So can I get back to you on Monday when I get back into the office? I want to look at this link you've sent me in more detail, because I'm only just briefly looking at it off cam. Have a good read through this and show the team and see what they think as well. Thank you very much. I will do. See you later. Oh, why can't I hear you? Oh, you're on mute. Anyway, long story short, I've probably got about 15-20 minutes, which is more than long enough here, Jay, to go through it. But I can get straight into it and tell you why I got in touch. So there's been changes in the business. I had an epiphany, and I brought on Skylar. I've never heard of a recruitment agency that has customer success, even if they're small or big. And I was like, well, this is quite weird, Like, I care personally about the after sale, and I do pretty well at that, but there's no way I can do sales and after sales. What happens if I just focused on really nurturing the clients I've got and passing that 50% of the process over, and I can just focus on new client acquisition and trust someone at the other end? I think if I bring on 1 new client a month, but then the last 6 or 8 are really looked after, I thought, you know what? I could probably do what I'm doing, if not more. Skylar's never worked in customer success before. I thought, how can I upskill Skylar? I mean, I'm teaching her some stuff about like psychology, communication, but I don't know an awful lot about customer success specifically. And then obviously I thought, it's only going to be something small, but I thought, it'd be great for you and potentially great for Skylar to do like a weekly thing where you can sort of train. I wonder if you'd be open to that. Just to summarize, Skylar does everything post-sale. So offers accepted, they've handed in their offer and they're working a notice period. So Skylar will speak to them throughout the notice period, the day before they start, the day they start, and then until they pass probation, which is usually 3 months. I've set her up with calls to like find out what I personally want to know. I guess what I'm kind of looking from you is to help her be proactive rather than reactive. So how can she spot potential blockers? Because I'm not even going to be thinking about this. Like, this isn't, I'm trusting her. So how can she spot fires before they're actually fires? What sort of proactive communication techniques can she do to make sure clients feel well looked after? And then how to handle difficult situations, because we haven't had one yet. What happens if there's some disagreement? Because she's a sensitive soul, she won't mind me saying. Like, how does she handle adversity in the position as well? So those 3 things, I think. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. Let's do a month of just the foundational principles of customer success. Like I said, anything that you teach her from your years will be probably built on the small amount of stuff that I've taught her. So the first month should be great. Skylar, would you prefer to learn in person or online? Sorry, I'm shouting here, Jay. You'd prefer to learn in person? In person, she says. You can come to the Moultons and I'll buy you both a coffee. You can sit downstairs, maybe even come up in the office if I'm out. Yeah, I'm gonna shout again. What would be your most preferred day and time? Let's do Tuesday, 12:30. Done and dusted. Easy as that. Looking forward to it. I know Skylar will be too. Nice one, man. Enjoy your weekend.
Think I'm bougie now. I used to wear plain bottom, now I'm pulling up in the off-white pants. I'm with the Goonies though. Everything so shut down the show. Now your girl want put down the show. That champagne that has to go. Wrist froze, now they say I'm moving cold. I never saw them back when I was alone. God's plan see me.
It's Kieran O'Connor. We were speaking earlier in the week. Oh, I've just opened up my emails. What did you say? You've been called back in to serve on jury duty. Yeah, cool. They were interested in your profile as well. Even though you're working towards the qualification, they've said that's fine and they're open to that. What times on Tuesday? Any time between, 10 and 12? Would that be fair? Late morning? Did you say you've been on jury duty for the whole of this week, or was it last week as well? Good. Have you enjoyed it, more importantly? Yeah, an experience to say the least. All right, cool. Well, I'll go back to him now and let him know. I appreciate you sending me an email. That was coincidental timing that I just opened it up. And I'll get this reorganised and I'll send you a WhatsApp to let you know once that's done. And that is exactly why you check in with candidates on the day of the interview. Coincidentally, I called her, and 3 minutes before that, and he just opened up my emails, she has been called into jury duty, which she's been on. She did say that last week for the whole week. And she's been called in for the last day today, so we're going to move that till Tuesday. That's exactly why you call people on the day. Hello, it's Kieran O'Connor. I'm calling to see how you're feeling for today's interview. I wanted to also help you out on some last minute prep. See if you checked over the YouTube and the email that I sent you as well. Give us a call back when you can. It'd be great to confirm. I then send an email to the client to let them know that I've spoken to you. I will also send you a message on LinkedIn to let you know I've called, and we'll speak soon. I was just sending you a voice note to let you know why I called. Are you okay to chat for a couple of minutes? I said I was going to give you a call today because you were speaking to 2 or 3 more people for the sales positions. Hopefully they've gone well, but I said I'll just do a check-in to see how they've gone and if there might be a search you're looking to pick up. That would be good. I appreciate that update. Yeah, cool. Well, I'm glad you got someone at the final stages, and I completely understand about the friendship side of things. Sometimes great, sometimes not. If I don't hear from you by next Friday, I'll send you a WhatsApp message, and you can let me know via text if you want to pick up the search or maybe you filled it. Does that sound like a plan? Hi, it's Kieran O'Connor. We've not spoken before, but you had a very good conversation with my colleague Bailey, probably around 5 weeks ago now. I'll resend an email to make sure that you've got that, and I do look forward to hearing you soon. Not having much luck here. It's voicemail after voicemail. Come on. Hello, it's Kieran O'Connor. We've not spoken before, but you had a very good conversation with my colleague Bailey on the 16th of last month. A bit more context. That was the second time you spoke to him, and you had a very honest conversation for 6 minutes about recruitment. I think we had just caught you at a time where you'd filled the positions that you had, but you suggested it'd be cool to give you a call a month later to see if there's anything changed. So here I am to see if there might be any updates on your side about planned hiring. Well, that's great news for you, not so good news for me. Did you say that you've made a few hires recently? Did I hear you right? Go on, I have to ask, did you work with an external partner to help out with those? Well, I'm really late to the party then by the sounds of it. Okay, I appreciate your honesty. I know you said you've got a partner or a recruitment partner that you would trust to help out. They've helped out previously. Are you open to exploring new relationships, or are you completely cutting that off? Yeah, sure. Okay, there was no need to go into that just now, considering we're quite a way off. But I'll send you an email with some details about the YouTube, my book, some of our reviews as well. Keep that on board, put that in your do not contact file. I'm sure you've got one of those on your email. And I'll give you a call towards the end of the year. Maybe we can share some updates if that sounds all right. All right, I appreciate your time. Have a good Friday. It's Friday morning here in sunny Future Insurer, and I have been doing the interview check-ins this morning as I get onto this sun lounger. And you would have seen the importance on why we do those every single day because of any last minute changes. Couldn't have been a better bit of content to capture. I tried to call 10 people and I only managed to get through to 2. These are people that I'm speaking to every couple of weeks because of potential vacancies, just trying to build on that relationship and strengthen my position to be the go-to person for when they do land. No good news, sadly, but the calls were well received. You can tell by the tone most of the time if people are interested, I guess, or willing to speak to you, and both of them were. Got solid updates, and one's a callback for next Friday, one's sort of keep in contact as well. Skylar has a customer success call today. She is speaking to one of our favourite clients in South Wales. We've helped 5 people into this business across software and data, and we've got one due to start as well. She's speaking to one of the head ofs of the teams and going to make sure that they've enjoyed the process with us, find out what we've done well, how we can communicate in a different way if that's needed, and more importantly, what things can we improve to make sure the customer journey is as best as it can be. Outside of that, I'm going to plough through some sales today, sitting by the pool, see if I can pull any new vacancies. Friday's always a good day to make some sales calls, and also more content. There's some more content coming on this channel, some exclusive content on the new channel, which I'm going to plug next week. So for a Friday, I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm good, thank you. How's your day going? So I'm Skylar, the Customer Success Director at Place, and this call should take about 15 minutes. I've just got a few questions to go through, and the goal overall is just to make sure that your experience working with us and with Kieran has been a positive one, and then if you have any feedback or anything like that, I can then go and relay it back to the team and Kieran, just so ultimately we can make our service better moving forwards. So just before I ask you the first question, I just wanted to share some of the data with you. So we had start in January. For that process, it took 13 working days from start to finish, and then who's due to start on the 26th of August, his process took 16 working days. How do you feel about that time to hire, and were you happy with that? How happy are you with the selection of candidates that we provided for the role? Okay, that's perfect. So happy with the candidate selection. How did you find our communication throughout the process? So that could be the frequency of updates you received, Kieran's style of communication, whether that was email, WhatsApp. Were you happy with all of that? This is the whole point of these sorts of calls, so that we can work with you better and understand like how we can support you moving forward. So it's really good feedback. I understand that, because I'm a lot slower than Kieran in that I have to like process everything. So no, I completely understand from your side, but that's good to know, because then when I relay that, he can then be aware of that. So that's perfect. So then overall, how was your experience working with Kieran? So for example, did he give you good salary insights and his approach to helping speed up the process for the hires? So all the expectations and that for the candidates in terms of the salary that your startup was offering was met. Are there any ways that we can improve moving forward? And in this question, you can be as open and honest, because ultimately it'll help us. Promptness. That's perfect. No, that's actually such a good one, like letting people feel like you don't have to respond as quick as I do. No, that's actually really good feedback. So that's perfect. And then I've also got, do you have any upcoming hiring needs that we can support you with? Kieran did mention that you had the third vacancy, which had some challenges before it was pulled. Will that be going live again this year? That's great. My last question was, do you have any clients that you would recommend us to, because we have got a referral system that I'm actually implementing. I'm trying to get it all signed off. It's going to be 10% that you would get discount on for like client referrals. So it's just, if you do have anyone you can recommend us to, I can obviously send you the link to our platform that we'll be using. Amazing. Those are all the questions that I had from my side. If you were happy with our service and obviously your experience with Kieran, he did mention that you've left a LinkedIn review. Would you be able to leave a review on our Google? I'll send you over the link after this call. And then I've also implemented an NPS score system. That's 90 seconds to complete. If I could just pop that in there too, and it's just an anonymous questionnaire, but it's a really quick one. And again, it helps us just improve the process for our candidates and clients moving forward. Thank you so much for the feedback and being so in depth about it. We'll keep the feedback loop open just so we can make sure that we're supporting you the best way that we can. Thank you so much. Speak to you soon. Bye.
And that's it. We're wrapping this week up. If you've watched this far, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, and we hope you enjoyed and learned something. More importantly, I'm looking forward to next week, getting back into the office, 5 days of working consistently, and we'll see you then. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Run through 5, 1, know what I expected this week. I'm alive, 1, that's why I expected this week.